He ran a billion-dollar exchange for criminals until the FBI came knocking. For years, a shadowy corner of the internet operated with impunity. A digital black market where the world's most notorious cybercriminals could launder their ill-gotten gains. This was BTC, an anonymous cryptocurrency exchange that became the beating heart of the dark web's financial system. It was a place where stolen funds from devastating ransomware attacks, proceeds from identity theft rings, and the earnings of drug traffickers were washed clean, converted into untraceable digital cash. At the center of this sprawling criminal enterprise, hidden behind layers of digital anonymity, sat one man, Alexander Vinnik. From 2011 to 2017, he allegedly presided over a platform that processed over $4 billion in transactions, a figure so vast it's hard to comprehend. BTC wasn't just an exchange. It was an essential piece of infrastructure for a global network of crime, a place where the architects of digital chaos could cash out. But while Vinnik operated in the shadows, a team of international investigators was slowly piecing together the puzzle, following a faint trail of digital breadcrumbs that would lead them halfway across the world. The era of impunity was about to come to a dramatic and sudden end. The summer of 2017 was hot and idyllic on the coast of Halkidiki, a picturesque peninsula in northern Greece, known for its clear waters and sandy beaches. For Alexander Vinnik, a Russian national on vacation with his family, it must have felt like a world away from the clandestine operations of the digital underworld. But on July 25th, that idyllic scene was shattered. As Vinnik relaxed on a beach near his hotel, a team of Greek police, acting on an international arrest warrant issued by the United States, swarmed in and took him into custody. The arrest was the stunning culmination of a multi-year, multi-agency investigation led by the FBI, the IRS Criminal Investigation Unit, and the Secret Service. The man they called Mr. Bitcoin, the alleged mastermind behind BTC, was finally unmasked. The indictment was damning. U.S. prosecutors accused Vinnik of operating an unlicensed money service business, conspiracy to commit money laundering, and engaging in unlawful monetary transactions. They alleged that BTC was a primary financial hub for a rogues gallery of cybercrime, including the infamous Mt. Gox hack where hundreds of thousands of bitcoins were stolen, and the proceeds from numerous ransomware variants like CryptoLocker and Slocky. Investigators claimed that Vinnik wasn't just a passive administrator. He was the principal operator who personally oversaw the laundering of stolen funds, commingling criminal proceeds with his own accounts. The arrest sent shockwaves through the cryptocurrency world. Simultaneously, U.S. authorities seized the BTC domain, and the site abruptly went offline, leaving its users both legitimate and criminal in the dark, their funds frozen in a digital limbo. The invisible empire had been decapitated. Vinnik's arrest in a Greek resort town was not the end of the story. It was the beginning of an unprecedented international legal war. With the alleged cyber kingpin in custody, 3 global powers immediately launched a diplomatic and legal battle to claim him as their own, each with its own motives and its own justification for prosecution. The United States, which had orchestrated the takedown, was first in line. They presented a comprehensive 21-count indictment, detailing a vast criminal conspiracy that had directly harmed American citizens and companies. Their case was built on years of meticulous blockchain forensics and intelligence gathering, and they argued that because BTC conducted significant business with U.S. residents and used U.S.-based servers, American jurisdiction was clear. They wanted to make an example of Vinnik, to send a powerful message to cybercriminals everywhere that the long arm of American law could reach across any border. But almost immediately, another global power entered the fray: Russia. Adding a third dimension to the conflict, France also submitted an extradition request. French authorities had been investigating Vinnik in connection with the Locky ransomware, which had defrauded thousands of French citizens and businesses out of millions of euros. They built their own case, independent of the Americans, accusing Vinnik of extortion, money laundering, and cybercrime. This three-way tug-of-war turned Greek courtrooms into a geopolitical battlefield. For years, the case bounced between different levels of the Greek judicial system. Courts initially approved the U.S. request, then the Russian request, then the French request, creating a tangled mess of conflicting legal rulings. Vinnik went on hunger strikes. His lawyers filed endless appeals. and diplomats from 3 nations engaged in a quiet but intense war of influence behind the scenes. The Vinnik case became a landmark event, not just for its high-profile target, but for the groundbreaking investigative techniques it pioneered. This was one of the first major international manhunts where blockchain forensics played the starring role. While BTC was designed for anonymity, it was not infallible. Investigators from agencies like the FBI and private firms like Chainalysis began the painstaking process of de-anonymizing the flow of funds. They meticulously traced the path of stolen bitcoins from events like the Mt. Gox hack as they moved through a complex web of wallets and mixers before landing at BTC. By analyzing the public, immutable ledger of the Bitcoin blockchain, they were able to link Vinnik's personal accounts and wallets to the core administrative and financial operations of the exchange. This digital paper trail formed the backbone of the U.S. indictment, providing concrete evidence that connected a seemingly anonymous platform to a specific individual. This cross-border investigation was a symphony of modern law enforcement, combining digital sleuthing with old-fashioned police work. While blockchain analysts worked in the virtual world, intelligence operatives on the ground worked in the physical one, tracking Vinnik's movements and identifying the opportune moment for an arrest. The collaboration was global. American, Greek, and French law enforcement agencies had to share sensitive intelligence and coordinate legal strategies. Navigating a labyrinth of different laws and diplomatic protocols, the tug-of-war over Vinnik's extradition highlighted the fierce diplomatic tensions simmering beneath the surface of global cybercrime enforcement. Each nation's pursuit of Vinnik was a projection of its national interest, turning a criminal case into a proxy for larger geopolitical rivalries. Russia's intervention was seen by the West as a deliberate attempt to shield a criminal and obstruct justice, while Russia framed America's actions as an illegal extraterritorial assertion of power. It was a clear demonstration that in the 21st century, the fight against digital crime is inextricably linked with diplomatic warfare. In the end, after years of legal battles, Greece made its decision. In 2020, Vinnik was extradited first to France, where he was convicted and sentenced to 5 years in prison for money laundering. Then, in August 2022, after serving part of his French sentence, he was finally extradited to the United States to face the original, more comprehensive charges. He arrived in San Francisco, the hub of the tech world he had so expertly exploited, to stand trial. The capture and prosecution of Alexander Vinnik closed a significant chapter in the history of the dark web. But it opened a new one filled with complex and unsettling questions. The case throws into sharp relief the fundamental challenge of our time. How do we apply laws written for a world of physical borders to a decentralized, borderless digital realm? When a criminal operates from one country using servers in another to defraud victims in a third, who has the right to prosecute? The Vinnik saga reveals a world where sovereignty is no longer just about land, but also about data, and where the pursuit of justice can ignite a global power struggle. As technology continues to outpace law, we are left to wonder, in this new decentralized world, who polices the police? And when a crime is everywhere, where exactly is justice to be found?